It's a low grip surface here in Estoril, isn't it? And it is a track that doesn't get resurfaced regularly, so that makes it demanding.
It is a tough track. One of the fact that it's not as busy. That means that for the riders, the track surface is quite old. You're trying to just scramble around that there's a bumps out there as well. But by and large, everyone tells you that it's a pretty good shape in terms of asphalt.
An entertaining racetrack, regardless. As we settle in the closing stages here.
See that jump start for him and dropped it down. He was another rider that in the mix there in that
style. Bigger moments for him through there than that one.
The shakes of the head were tough, but top rack needs to focus on the picture. With that big championship.
Yeah, reality. Top rack in the 11.5 seconds of Alvaro Bautista. Top rack just got to focus now on not getting rattled and making sure would have happened to top rack held track position early on, and whether Bulliger would have been able to put top rack. Then heading with comfort at 1.5. Then heading with comfort at 1.5 laps to go. Parabolica interior. Podium positions, and this has been another of those displays that reminds you forward that Bulliger has made since last year.
Yeah, and he really has stepped up to the mark this year. He knows that
championship, that means there'll be a gap of 8 points between them. Face limitation ride this weekend, 2 places and a bit. Really needs Bautista to make mistakes. If it's not going to be on the final lap here, then we'll have to be over the weekend in Jerez next time out. But Locatelli doing all he can do to make sure he stays within one race's points, let's say, of Bautista in that battle.
Yeah, and another
in second place, and Alvaro eventually in third, and this will confirm that Aruba.it Racing Ducati are WorldSBK team champions in 2025. Well, no surprises about that. Top-rack Razgatlioglu hasn't had the support from Michael van der Mark this season. He's a regular podium on the rostrum spots in more than half of the races, and he's been the best backup as far as second riders in any of the front.
Yeah, exactly. That's ultimately what you need to have to be able to get those titles wrapped up at the Aruba January when we go testing, and it runs all the way through and put a lot of pressure onto their team field to make sure they're able to get for the championship. It matters to the crews.
Yeah, but it's another 20 points knocked off of out. How many he needs now to become world champion. Points knocked off of out. How many he needs now to become world champion.
Right, trying to make sure that when we go to Jerez, we wrap up the championship today, and then you enjoy your bike ride.
From the World Championship, victory in race 1 in Jerez will certainly do it. Not take them over races, but it's going to be get the job done to avoid any last thing.
Yeah. On yes, the initial staging of race 1, you can be brought out in someone else's instant. You can have technical problems, and that's why you always get championship wrapped up.
Not going to go down to the final race. I think Jonathan Ray, the manufacturer, famous. Anything can go wrong when it's one race.
Yeah, exactly. That's where. For all the riders, they always talk the same thing about you can never take anything for granted, and we've seen it time and again in different championships where Bulliger as the Supersport World Champion, he's lived up to that since he stepped onto Superbike and much instant became the team leader for the Aruba Ducati squad. But this year in particular, he's never looked back, and for him to do that against the world, had so much success in 2019. It basically was the end of Bautista's chances to stay with the team, and Paddy, they've had to look at it. They've had to try and find someone that's a young rider that can lead their program if Bulliger were to move. There was another room to go about Ari on the bike tank, and then question of where would he next up on the
Let's hear from your podium trio then. Nicolo Bulliger.
The 3 races, because all 3 races I had a group behind me just trying to catch me, and yeah, it was hard because I had to keep a focus.
At speed, those mistakes just up, but as long
Race, my tire is a full destroy. Race, my tire is a full destroy, and
gotta go out and try and pick up their, their battles and their points, and if you want to stay away from that, then you but a move like that from Top Rack on Locatelli, that's where you then put it in the other rider's hand. And obviously that's a Top Rack is always raced heavy. And obviously that's a Top Rack is always raced heavy, will always race. But ultimately, those other
Constant fighting with Bulliger. The frustration is that he will at the pace, but only if it is that he will at the pace, but only if it had practice. I'm not going to play well on the end.
Yeah, and that's something that BMW need to address as well. But the run down to turn 1 in each race and each start, they lost out to
here today, but your race winner is Nicolo Bulliger. He's done it again.
Nicolo Bulliger, great ride, back on the top step of the podium.
Yeah, back on Q1, thanks to my team, because it improved a lot from this morning.
One round to go, 6. 1 round to go, 6 available. Afternoon. Head to Spain next time out, 6 day time. With so many months about Bautista here, and whether Bulliger's going to run away with it, and whether anyone can stop him, whether anyone can replace Raz Kaptioglu, because in a race like today,
yeah, certainly yeah, certainly for the Titan rivals. That's for the Titan rivals. That's the things to learn as well, and then that's where riders have found have a tough one.
Yeah, I agree. It's a mechanical sport, and therefore there can be mechanical. I guess team will take that one hard. And for the final toll, the honours will be handed out. So let's take you through the race 2 results. Standing. Races completed. And the only different podium of the weekend. Toprak Razgat Bioglu denied. A comprehensive performance from Bulliger. Back 5 points in. Alvaro Bautista, 3 third races. Successful weekend. Him up into third in the World Championship standings. Great ride from Alex Rose to sit there with Bautista for as long as he could. Final third of the race. He still holds on. High court and place. Still holds on. High court and place. For
World Champ now, and after this, we've just hit the in yesterday, they've raced that. Gets pole position. Bueno continues to show excellent lap pace from the second front row starting 3 rounds. Recovery from that shoulder, and he crashed while missing the lead in the second race. 7 is grid as 15 minutes to go now until our second race. It is over a little here at Estoril, but any team for in this race is a particularly good weekend on so David Salvador, Roberto Maya and Matteo Vanucci looking down the 2 looking for 3 wins in a row. Beñat Fernandez will want to win from pole position. Well, in July.
New championship contender will round here in the red. New championship contender will round here in the red.
Evan in contention. Evan championship. Gil Garcia is still 5 points lead. Bose is for the back of Umberto Bueno. Bell Blacks. Bell, David Salvador, and a slip
Earlier this.
So the B all within the top 7. There's going to be some shooting out here through turns 9 and 10. Padres Bueno make a move past both of the all within the top 7. There's going to be some shooting out here through turns 9 and 10. Padres Bueno make a move past both of the MTM Kawasaki there. Thompson trying to get the cut back the inside. That's allowed the leading pair to escape there. It's going to tangle up back Kevin Sabatucci, number 85, long near 1 kilometre straight into turn 1. Carter Thompson briefly had the lead there. Getting the cut back though is David Salvador, and somehow he has just about held his lead, but Jeffrey Bose was the big winner there as well. Carter Thompson, this lap of the race, moves up into P2. Bose into 3rd, Rispleno down to 4th. The man who lost out to the post there is Antonio Torres, in back a place from Ilya Carter Thompson. Straight in 3rd, Rispleno 4th. Cat Fernandez rounds out the top, and then Bose on the number 6 in P6. Veneman is down to 7th. Joe Garcia still in the battle, looking a little this time into Mageda and Vanucci currently rounding out the Pepe Osuna battle for the 70s. As well, and the still in there, exactly where they need to.
And Fernandez probably still going to be dragged back into each other on the start-finish straight, but they're trying to give themselves that chance to.
Salvador retakes the lead. Now the 2 Pradina bikes behind Beñat Fernandez start to feel him in a little. These parts of this circuit. Kevin Sabatucci gets a lap penalty, a collision earlier on with Carlos Sanchez, number 30, the tail of the field. Not been a happy season, just experience in the field, unfortunately. Kevin Sabatucci. There again, bars together down the straight. Here comes Jeffrey Bose towing Beñat Fernandez behind him. Beñat Fernandez staying in the slipstream of the ATM. He could make a move here. The luck down the inside, and you can see that second group towing up this what was a 4-rider breakaway. It certainly isn't anymore. At least a dozen of them in this leading pack now. Fernandez ran wide there over the throttle on over the curves. He couldn't have thought that was Pepe Osuna after he set the fastest lap.
It looked like almost a bump draft down the start-finish straight there. They're all getting so close to one another, just trying to give.
Turn 6, Beñat Fernandez, we can see there in behind. Other Thompson pulling away with Joe Torres. Down the inside, they talk down into turn 7 into P3. That is on the tail of Fernandez, and then Danny Mogeda is 7th place. He's ahead of Juan Rispleno. What's happening in turns 9 and 10? This time nothing. It's been spectacular as they come through there. It's yellow Kawasaki who continues to be Salvador now with his teammates. Joe Torres in behind him. Jeffrey Bose completing the top 3. Beñat Fernandez sits in 5th position behind Osuna, who's come.
Yeah, Pepe Osuna on the number 77 machine making the move, and good to be able to see Pepe. He's in top 10 difficult weekends as well, but on his good days he's always been able to give himself a chance to try and fight it out for a top 5. He'll know that this is a good opportunity now for him to get
around the outside. He's going to lose out to Jeffrey Bose. Around the outside. He's going to lose out to Jeffrey Bose potentially. No, he gets late on the brakes behind him. So there's Beñat Fernandez, Mogeda. Yeah, that's Rispleno. Ahapa lost time to complete 8 laps. That's 2/3 race distance completed. So if red flag goes out, looking really closely in of those, and just on the back of this group, here's champion dress.
So now, previous lap, the gap has been out to about a half a second down into that corner, so at least...
Again, the Kawasaki, field able to play slightly. Jeffrey on the brakes, but Risueno got a great run. Yeah, into turn one, back up into P3. Torres trying to tow back onto this battle as well. This is great stuff here. The three championship contenders now, 1, 2 and 3, and this time they are right together as we head towards the most crucial part of the lap, coming through the parabolic of this long, very exciting final lap. Here they come, one lap to go. Beñat Fernandez going to do. Juan Risueno can get into the slipstream as well. Beñat Fernandez picking his line. They go right over towards the pit wall. Risueno trying to go round the outside. Torres and Mogeda are in there as well. It could be 6 of them going for the lead here as late as he can. They can't go 5 wide into turn 6. Surely, look at this. Danny Mogeda round the outside. David Salvador's going to get hung out to dry here. Beñat Fernandez
It changed
through the